Hi, good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, January 26th. It's about 7:10 p.m. here in Chicago. I made a video, but it ended up being 12 minutes long. That's too long, so I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. So, it's being reported that ANDRADE vacating the WBO to move up to 168 to fight Parker in plans to become a mandatory to fight Canelo. I'll get to 168 in a minute, but let me start with 160. Because at first when I heard that, I was really disappointed, and I'll tell you why. I still wanted Andrade and Charlo to unify at 160. That was my biggest desire at 160. I know they're trying to sell a lot of Janet Beck hype, and I'm sure Janet Beck is very, very good. I've seen him. I know he's good. But I don't care what anybody says. Andrade versus Charlo would have been the best fight at 160. There's a unification involved. And Charlo, he's just a really tough, dedicated fighter. That would have been a tough fight. I wanted to see that. But if that couldn't happen, Janet Beck, a lot of people feel like he would have given Andrade problems. So let me just finish up, put a final coating on 160 before I move to 168. Regarding Andrade and Janet Beck, I don't know how you guys all see it, but I see at the very, very best Janet Beck giving Andrade a tough fight. He definitely wasn't going to beat Andrade. He's nothing that Andrade hasn't seen before, either in his amateur career or his professional career. Everybody who's ever sparred with Andrade, every fighter who's ever trained with Andrade, every trainer will tell you that Andrade is the truth. Janet Beck was not going to beat Andrade. But that's like saying coulda, woulda, shoulda, so I won't delve into that too much. I will say this. Based on what we've seen with politics and boxing, right? Especially after seeing, let me talk about Gary Russell one more time. This is a man who beat Maxeo with one hand, and he can't get a rematch. An injured fighter who held the belt for that long cannot get a rematch. What does that tell you? That should tell you so much. An injured fighter who was beating the man anyway cannot get a rematch. That should tell you something. They want certain groups of people to run certain divisions. And those people from Pacquiao's country, they're making easy paths. They're making ways for them to have their names really stand out in certain divisions. They've been trying to do that at 160 too. Why do you think Triple G just gets to sit around and do absolutely nothing? Andrade can't get Triple G. Andrade couldn't get Canelo. Andrade couldn't get Munguia. They were willing to make Charlo happen because at least that would knock one of them out of the way, right? That makes sense. But Charlo didn't want the fight. But that would at least knock one of them out of the way. And if Andrade would have won against Charlo, which I think he would have been standing there with two belts. And now the only difference is he has two belts. He still wouldn't be able to get any fights. He wouldn't. So I say that to say this. Even if Andrade were to fight Janet Beck, and let's say Janet Beck really was all that he's hyped up to be, and Andrade beat him. Let's say Andrade beat him by an 8-4, a 7-5. Do you think those judges would have given Andrade the win? Let's be real. Or would they be dying to do Andrade the way they just did Gary Russell? And then Janet Beck would have the belt, and then here comes another Eastern European out of the woodworks, Triple G. And then they would have had the division going more in the direction of where they want that division to go. Am I lying? Or am I making sense? Andrade, they have shown Andrade over and over again, they don't want him running that division. So I think it's a smart thing for Andrade to move up. Andrade would have beaten Janet Beck and got cheated, unless he knocked him out. And he probably wouldn't be able to knock out a guy like Janet Beck, but he would beat him. And he would have gotten cheated. That's how I see it. It's okay to disagree, but that's how I see it. I'm just basing it off of history. Off of history. Now Andrade is telling people off, saying you guys ain't doing shit for me. You're protecting fighters. Oh, they really got it in for him too, I'm sure now, So I'm at 4 minutes, 41 seconds, so let me hurry up. I think Andrade would have beaten Janet Beck, got cheated. They would have had the person who they want pretty much on the path to where they want 160 to go. That's what would have happened. Andrade's moving up to 168. Now, to me, Andrade moving up to 168 is kind of like the equivalent of, say, Haney moving up to 140. You're moving up to more smoke. More smoke. There's Gary Antoine Russell, who wants to beat Haney's ass. There's Rougarou. There's Josh Taylor, undisputed. There's a lot of good smoke at 140. You know what I mean? So moving up to 140 is a very bold, like, that's a good move, you know. I feel the same way about Andrade moving up to 168. There's plenty of smoke up there. Morrell is my biggest threat. To me, Morrell beats Canelo. Morrell beats Benavidez. Morrell beats... Jacobs is at 162, right? I think he beats everybody. I even think Morrell has a chance to beat Andrade. So, Andrade's moving up to a division with a lot of smoke. You know, a lot of smoke. He has to go through a guy named Parker because Canelo. But what I don't like about this is now we got to hear over and over again more talk about Canelo. Canelo's not fighting Andrade. Canelo's gonna make some smart ass comments. He's a horrible fighter. He's boring. I'm not fighting him. I'm just so tired of it. So if Andrade moves up, fights Parker, and can't get Andrade, at least he's in the division. He can fight Benavidez. He can fight Morrell, which is the one I want to see. He can fight anyone else at 168. 168 has some really good, tough fighters. So I don't want to... I'm already at 6 minutes and 31 seconds. But yeah, Andrade moving up to 168, I think it's a good move because they would have cheated him. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm sensitive after seeing Gary Russell beat that man's fucking ass with one fucking hand, and he can't get a rematch. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. That man can't get a rematch. Since when? Not only an injured boxer can't get a rematch. That is crazy to me. That is so crazy. So that told me everything I need to see. They would have done the same thing to Andrade. I'm promising you, they would have did the same thing to Andrade versus this Janabek dude. It ain't worth it. Move up to 168. There's plenty of smoke up there. And Andrade has been talking about moving up to 168 for a while, too. Well before Janabek came around. If you don't believe me, then do your research, you know. So, that's my opinion. I'm at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Salute to Scrapbook Boxing. Salute to Marlo's Corner and Trey X. Salute to Main Man. Salute to Mike Hennigan, Southeast DC, stand up. Salute to Champside. Salute to 78. Salute to KQKC, Stormy B-Man. Salute to everybody. Salute to Eagles Web Boxing, Asantea. Salute to MZ Talks Boxing. Salute to Warzone again. Congrats on 1,000 subs. Salute to Gil Coles for making first place under Champ Ross last week. And yeah, so let's see what happens with Andrade. Salute to Demetrius Andrade. Have a good night, everybody.